I see peace all around. I hear peace all around. I prophesy peace all around. I declare peace all around. All around I see peace. All around I see peace. In Nigeria I see peace. All around I see peace. Mori àlàáfíà káàkiri. Mo gbọ́ àlàáfíà káàkiri. Mo sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ àlàáfíà káàkiri. Mo kéde àlàáfíà káàkiri. Àlàáfíà káàkiri. Àlàáfíà káàkiri. Àlàáfíà káàkiri. Àlàáfíà káàkiri. Ina ganin salama tare da mu. Ina jin salama tare.
Hello there and welcome to Wodi Woman Talk Show. As we all know, Wodi aims to educate and shed light on societal, moral ills and to bring us to a place of peace and reconciliation. Today on the show, we have a very wonderful and radiant guest. I'll be starting from my right. I have here Comrade Haruna Bremo, the Country Director for Media and Publicity with United Nations International Peace Commission. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And we have Ms. Chiamaka Okoro. She is a teacher, a seasoned one at that. Welcome, Ms. Chiamaka. Thank you. To my very left, I have Uloma Nwosu. She's a Group MD, Duo Group. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us on the show. And of course, our ever amiable evangelist, Timothy Ofuegu.
God bless you.
Very colorful. I love your Ishiago. Speaking so much, speaking prestige.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
And it would be wrong to proceed with the show without acknowledging the executive producer of the Wodi Woman Talk Show, Her Excellency, Zenaria Noma Nkechi Bocha Okorocha, PhD. And in commemoration of International Day for Tolerance, we'll be talking about a very, very relevant topic, tolerance, an essential tool for mutual coexistence. I'll start with you, Comrade Bremo. You, of course, being a civil professional, that you are in your chosen field of profession. Would you say that we, as a people, Nigerians, in this current time, economy, and political situation, would you say we are tolerant?
No, we are drifting actually. Across the different divides from religion, social, political, economy, as you have said it. And unfortunately, from our homes, with the parents-children relationship, tolerance is also dying gradually. And that is the bedrock of promoting any societal value, the family itself. So unfortunately, it's hard, but we have to admit that we are drifting to the wrong side of it. The level of tolerance is getting low. The essence of tolerance is no longer, is being rubbished at times. Where the chiefs are down, tolerance is relegated. We all chase our selfish, pursue our selfish interests and goals, and which on the long run is going to have a ripple effect generationally. Actually, with this Gen Z, what we call it, you guys are Gen Z now. They just told me the meaning of Gen Z. It's a new word for me now. I have to add it to my activities. Yeah, so the Gen Zs now, they don't even tolerate. You could see them in an attempt for them to even participate, inclusive political participation. They are finding it hard on how to go about it. They don't go through process, even in workplace. They don't want to tolerate, and everything about life is process, and all those things. The real essence of tolerance is dwindling in the Nigerian situation. Unfortunately, we cannot live in isolation.
That's hard to take in, but like we've already admitted, this is what's going on now in our society.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Maka, I have a question for you. As an educator, and of course you deal with teens on a daily basis, they're part of your life. How would you define tolerance or your personal experience?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, tolerance is about recognizing a person's culture, accepting it, and then of course dealing with it in such a way that it has no negative effects on the persons involved. Now, speaking from my own field as a teacher, I've been teaching for over 10 years now, and it's like a mantra. We must tolerate. We must tolerate. We must accept these children's background. They come from different cultural background. So if you cannot teach them that in the classroom, there's nothing for them to take home. There's nothing for them to even instill in their own family and amongst themselves. So tolerance is basically everything. If we have to coexist peacefully, if we have to achieve something, if we have to achieve a goal. So tolerance is everything, and that's what the kids take back. That's what they take back to the society.
So from what you said, tolerance is one thing and it's everything. It's everything. An essential, element too, and tool for mutual coexistence. Thank you so much for your input. Norma? You look radiant. I cannot help but taken away by your ensemble. You look really beautiful. Okay, so now I have a question for you. Considering the fact that your status, can humans really coexist without tolerance? I mean, we're saying it's an essential tool, but is it really possible for life to happen without tolerance?
Thank you for that question. I think, like she mentioned, tolerance is sort of accepting other people's way of life and their culture. But I think an integral part of tolerance is also strongly dependent on understanding and patience. And the question is, as a society, have we grown more patient, or are we more understanding of each other? And you cannot have a successful relationship or a successful outlook to life in general if there's no tolerance. So I think as a society, that's what you're asking, we've become increasingly impatient and not understanding of other people's culture and expectations, thereby making tolerance a bit difficult to achieve. So once we understand that, we just need to be a bit more patient and get understanding of people's mindsets, their expectations, and patiently waiting for a possible outcome. Then you can say you have a tolerable, if there's any word like that, a relationship, and give you the success that's needed.
Thank you. So key nuggets for taking away from your input: patience, understanding. These are essential drivers for achieving tolerance. Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Allah has given us something that is a woman is supposed to be a finder. The woman is supposed to be a purifier. See the women with most good or after sex. Women should be carried along. And when I say women, all classes. Without the woman, you can cannot be fruitful, we cannot multiply.
Man is everything. Refined product. It's a refined product.
Welcome back to the Worthy Women Talk Show. Today we've addressed and looked at tolerance from different angles and picked different nuggets. Patience, we've talked about learning to live, learning to learn. We've talked about accommodating our diversity. And coming to you now, Evangelist Timo, how can we use tolerance as a key to achieving mutual coexistence? We've talked about tolerance now from different angles. How can we actually use it now as a tool, as a weapon, if I may add, to achieve mutual coexistence in our society?
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
The reason why so many people are intolerant is superiority complex and fear of the unknown. Let me now begin to talk about the tribes in Nigeria. I don't think any of the major tribes believe that the other one is better than it. You see people trying to push the agenda of their own tribes, not the agenda of the nation, because they feel that if they draw back, the other group will dominate them. The same thing happens in religion. Religion most of the time is polytheism, where you have people believing in so many gods.
Absolutely.
What the Hindus believe is not what the Buddhists believe. And yes, Christians and Muslims usually say, oh, monotheism will believe in the existence of one God. But when the chiefs are down, the same fear that Muslims may dominate Christians or Christians may dominate Muslims will go here. And if you even break it down to Christianity, you see that because the Catholic is large in number, others will also have the same fear that if they don't push their own, this group may dominate us. So I think for coexistence mutually, somebody will begin to say that it's not all about me. It's about we. We see humanity first before any other thing. That's why in some families, any family where you see a man and a woman eating together as husband and wife, and there are 3 pieces of meat in the soup, and the man allows the wife to take the first and take the second. We are seeing all of that. We little things. People usually think of, so you see the fear is not there. There are other meat still in the soup. That's the way I'm looking at this thing. And I'm happy that today, being the World Tolerance Day 2020, I went to Dubai on holiday. And I wanted to go to St. Mary, the only church approved officially there, to join a group called the Charismatics in their prayer meeting. Unfortunately, the whole place was locked up with soldiers, army, and police, all manner of people dressed like Muslim mullahs and Christian clerics. So they refused that I should go in. So I insisted for the police to tell me what is happening inside here. But I came to prayer and said, no, that the emir of Dubai is here, and that the leader of the whole UAE is also here. I said, good. What are you people doing? He said, it's International Day of Tolerance. I said, okay. I'm a prince from Africa and I'm a Christian evangelist. So that qualifies me to go in. He said, are you sure? I said, yes. So he allowed me in and put me on 3 seats after the emirs and the bishops. And it was in the speech of the emir that I realized that the land I'm talking about is maybe going to about 6 acres, was donated by the emir, a Muslim, and built the church from scratch, including the hall, equipping, and everything. And they were right there hugging, talking how they can coexist. That is the kind of thing we want in Nigeria. Not that there are people who don't have that kind of heart, but others in the same competition I'm talking about will go and burn down the church or burn down the mosque. They look at these people. I was so happy, especially when they finished and the representative of the poor came to shoot my hand, noticed me and said, "Are you from Africa?" I said, "Yes," he was praying for Africa. So we can coexist. The day you drop what you think that is in you that is better than the other person, honestly, coexistence has started.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Evangelist Timothy. So I took a key nugget from what you said. You know, dying to self and creating room for even what you do not know, learning to unlearn, to relearn, and accommodate. Now to you, Kwame Bremo, would you like to buttress what he said, or do you agree totally?
Now, to some reasonable extent, where I'm going to come from is to add to the fact that why that is possible there is because they'll be able to agree on a common goal. There must be agreements on a common goal. Not that there are no divergences there. There are differences across their religions. Even inside the religion, I'm a Muslim by faith, but I'm humanity by religion.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not Muslim by religion. So you have I've happened in Buhari here, in Abuja, in Buhari area council, somebody discriminated me in the mosque during pandemic. I told them that the law says that we should not be going to mosque for now, for Friday prayers and all that. Mine was just doing what the law says or what government. How to protect them. But I never knew somebody from my own place, from Edo, went to tell the Hausa people that I'm a fake Muslim. I'm not a real Muslim. That look at what I'm telling them. So when the mosque was being reconstructed after the pandemic, I donated the tithes, but they didn't know. The tithe guns, they didn't know. I brought the Christian people. Christians were the one to see the tithes in the mosque. And I called one of them and said, go and prepare food for them. They prepared jollof. It was during the sharing of the jollof rice, I was just eating. Again, the other man I used to say, they should share for everybody, they should not share for me. That we learned he was the one that. So you can imagine. Because we could not just agree. We had a common issue. Pandemic. This is not about whether you. This is death. Death is common, whether you are a Muslim, whether you are a Christian, or whatever. And that was what I was trying to say against. Until somebody made them realize the Tyler, Andrew, said, now I'm not able to carry us come here. You know, I donate all those of her, provided 5 bags of cement and all that. But that is why, just as he was saying, there is experience happen. It's a place that keep personal interest first, strike for the common interest. And the common interest in Dubai, for across the divide here, is the fact that the prosperity of Dubai. Peaceful coexistence drives prosperity. Whether it's economic prosperity, political prosperity, social prosperity, peaceful coexistence. And they all agree that there are creeds, there are areas, when we are talking of this tolerance, there are disadvantages. There are some key areas you don't touch. There are intolerance that are relevant to drive tolerance. Yeah?
Can you share more light?
Of course. We are in, for example, in 2014 or 2013, President Goodluck Jonathan signed a law, coming across sexual preferences, gayism or whatever, you know. It's in this line. It's against the law. If we have accepted it's illegal, that is an acceptability. A law is what we have all accepted. Whether you don't need to personally append to it or part of the process. You have a representative that passed that law. Now coming to tolerance, you want to build a society of where liberalism clashes with some of these things. Now said, okay, let us tolerate one another.
Yeah.
You know, the law has already said you should not be tolerated. This your acts, your behavior, your sexual preferences or whatever, your character. It's not from this kind of character, if exhibited, should not be tolerated in a particular environment. Tolerating it, I'm an accomplice. So these are the issues we must learn to strengthen the common goals So that whatever we are tolerating into the common goals there, we will not see as the Christians and Muslims in Dubai, in UAE, even some perverts, unfortunately, sorry for using that word, from here, who find themselves there for still users, you see that they are bringing them back. Because the society will not tolerate them in the name of tolerance. The environment, the Christians, they know, everybody knows where its own boundary ends. You understand? So there are intolerables that need to be entrenched to drive tolerance.
Sorry to cut you short. In Dubai, Friday is their Sunday. Friday is public holiday. You don't go to work and everything. The Christians move Sunday to Friday. So all Christians worship on Friday.
So everybody worship on Friday.
Everybody now worship on Friday because on what we call Sunday on Gregorian calendar here, you're expected to be
in the beginning of the week.
So what the Christian leaders in Dubai, Catholic, Anglican, Pentecostal did to say, okay, Friday is now Sunday.
Common interest.
So no more Sunday as we know it. And that day I went was a Friday. They said they are doing the service. So I thought it's another service. It's what we call Sunday here. So you see how people now are willing to allow their own personal interest to die.
Yes, exactly.
So that the common interest, what will bring mutual coexistence, will be the number one thing that we do.
Exactly.
These are very fantastic perspectives. And Buloma, would like to shed more light or buttress or even contribute to what has already been said?
I mean, I think they've said it all. I totally agree with what they're saying. The most important thing is the common goal, the general idea of the reason for existence or the goal of the people, what they want to achieve. He's talking about Dubai, talking about the United States, for instance. They have an idea, they have their ideologies. And irrespective of personal desires or what it is they're looking out for, they have a line that's not crossed. To where anything that bothers on the American dream or the ideals of the American people, that's something that's unacceptable. And whether it's the Christian divide or Muslim divide or Hindu divide, they all drop it aside for that common goal. So I totally agree with them on this one. I just think it's the general goal is what breeds tolerance, and the question is, how can Nigeria get there? So to the point where we're able to drop all our personal differences to the general goal.
Okay, then let's talk about it. How can Nigeria get there?
I'd like to share more about it. Let me explain that. It's going to be this way. The first thing is recognizing people's background, their culture. The second is to understand. And then the third is to assess. And then finally working towards the common goal. Now, our common goal in Nigeria, everyone is going to believe that we're working for one Nigeria. We're working for the development of the country. Now, before now, back then when we were in school, I actually went to a military school, so we were all grown to understand that we are all one. But something happened to me in my junior class. I had a friend, she's Muslim, we're still friends though, and I didn't even know that there was any difference between Christian and Muslim until the day she was cautioned for doing certain things with me. Although we worked together, gave us sort of thing, we did our washing and all, boarding house and all that, we did all those things together. So that was the first time I realized that, oh, I'm actually different from this girl. And till today, in fact till tomorrow, I'm not taking that away from my head. So now as a teacher, in my classroom, I make everyone understand that we are the same, we are all here for a common goal. Our common goal is to be successful. And our common goal is to live in a society where we can coexist peacefully, where we can have a great nation, where everyone can speak for himself or herself regardless of your background, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your religion. In fact, in my class there's no Christian, there's no Muslim. In my class there's no Igbo, there's no Yoruba, there's no House. I mean, they even ask me, if not by my name, they don't even know that they don't even know my tribe. It's just by my name they get to know my tribe. I refuse to tell them where I'm from because I want them to know that we are all the same. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. Let's take away all these differences. Let's focus on the goal. Take away the differences, focus on the goal. Because if you are there trying to show how superior you are, like you are just like the evangelist rightly said, a lot of problem has to do with superiority complex. Some people think that they are all better than their other, and that's not it. That's not what we should be fighting for. So if we can, from the beginning, we can start from, sorry, I'm saying this from my own classroom view, we can start from the children, start talking to our children, telling them that you're not better than anybody, nobody's better than you. You can always speak for yourself. You can always go for anything you want to go for in this country. Anywhere you are in the world, you can always stand for yourself. We're striving for a common goal. That's the one Nigeria. So whatever you do, think of the other person. Think of yourself as the other person, and think of the other person as yourself. I think that's just the most important thing. The moment you think of the other as yourself, I mean, what are we talking about? Everything before we do.
Thank you, Mr. Maka. Do you totally agree?
Yeah, but in doing all this, we fall back to a regulated society.
I noticed your body language, so I said I had to.
Yeah, because I'm somebody that believes in regulation. Yeah, because even from creation, God regulated the world. And man has always tried to drift away. Even man has been misbehaving from Bible, always misbehaving. And at the end of the day, God always put a check. Whether it's karma, something must check man.
Absolutely.
To bring him to fall into, whip him to line. You understand? So Nigeria as a country, we are bounded by an accepted constitution. Anyhow you want to look at it, whether it was created by the military, but it has been accepted. We are not talking of decree now. We are not saying act, even if it was promulgated in 1970, we now say as amended Act of 1999. That means we are constitutionally bound as a people. But the question is, in an attempt to tolerate ourselves to unite, tolerate ourselves to have peace, for that peace to drive prosperity, there is a regulated book which we need to follow. Are we following it? It is an aberration to be lawful in a lawless environment. Yes, you can confirm from any lawyer. What I mean is, it's an act of illegality for you to be legal in an unlawful society. Here now we are talking of survival. In survival series, we don't talk about legality. Do you understand? We talk about surviving first. So we must see that there is a huge, like a rebellious act of rebel from this generation against the same constitution. You tell them to follow the law. There are people who have set wrong precedent for them to point to. Did this Mr. A follow the law? You think we don't know? When this person did this, did he not follow the law? When this one, so it's now my turn. I do small Yahoo now. Want me to follow the small cash out. You are chasing your father. Do you understand? That is the kind of situation. To be frank, we are in a state of, I don't know, we are in a quandary. Yeah, we are confused. Whether we like it or not, we may have some progress here and there, but the fabrics are breaking up gradually. When you are hitting a particular spot in a wall, gradually, you think there is no effect. Gradually and continuously, it will have huge effect on the entire foundation. And that is what is happening right now in our society. Nobody is regulating the currency. Yes, because a society that is not stretching on foundation cannot be doing it, so cannot just wake up and say I'm doing a floating of naira. For example, no level of dollar, what is naira going to fall on? Naira must have a base to strengthen itself. How can naira just go and be floating with dollar and pounds in the IC? Naira is canoe, dollar is cheap, still cheap. And wanted to just without support. And the support base, they are the fabrics. The economic fabric, the macro, all those, who is driving them? We have people who don't even know what they are doing there. Who are fighting, not that they don't read it in school, some of them are PhD holders. But personal interest. How much do they gain if they decide to take this currency and audit to some balance in Sheraton there? They know what they will gain. Releasing it at 400 and something, selling it at 900. Look at the difference. You understand? Creating I'm diverting deeper. In 2009, they saw recipes. Late President Yaradua, he came up ahead meeting with he had a National Economic Council meeting and mandated some governors. Fashola was in that committee, Oshomole was in the committee with the then Soludo, and the other governors said, let's come up with a new macro policy, monetary policy to drive the forex something. And they created retail, say, offshore system, Dutch offshore system. Retail means every bank can have access. All you need to do is to come to autonomous foreign exchange market at the CBN, get the dollar at the retail price. You have access to it. Why they announced this program, it was to make the dollar more available. When every bank have it, if the MD of US, the GMD of US group need dollar, she goes to the bank, not to the malam, because it's retail across, not wholesale now. Just within 9 days or 10 days from that day of pronouncing that policy, they created what is called policy somersault. That policy somersaulted overnight. The implementation was no longer on retail, they now created wholesale, whereby they pick only 5 banks out of 25 banks in Nigeria, which is wholesale. So those 5 banks now will now on their own make it the remaining 20 banks black marketers under them. And only that period that created that 10 days period, people have cashed out from the system. These are some of the issues that will not encourage. I know this now. If I'm intolerant tomorrow, you want me to come and obey the law, I will point to you. We know the banks that did all these things, so they are the role models. They stand in
Comrade, are you truly advocating lawlessness?
No, I'm advocating for peace, but we have to be realistic that for us to achieve all this, peace is a building process. And tolerance is one of the onions that drive the building process. When we're talking of building process, we must have to talk. Let us know where the pain is coming from. Then we now know what to drop off. Just like you said, drop off some things. Now extend hand of fellowship. If you don't know what, you will not judge us.
I think that maybe statements will be obvious. To have a complete X-ray of our societal ills, we will still go back to the discussion of the day, tolerance. So the question would have been, are the leaders even tolerant of their followers? Whether even we, the religious leaders. I mean, what if the man of God is in a bulletproof car?
Not what
and what people that are following him, guarding him, are not in anyone. What if the government official light is not going off in your own house? Will you feel the pain of a person that their transformer has been blown for 6 months in darkness? What if a bag of rice is truly 50,000? Will the leaders know about this? So you notice that the problem we are having again in this society, beyond our constitution and dollars and everything in fact, we need leaders that are women, who we believe that government, democracy is for the people, by the people, through the people. So at the end of the day, how do they even feel what we are feeling? How? I'm sorry, maybe because somebody is a Muslim, but from when he talks, I noticed you know a little about Christianity. Why Christians try to follow Jesus is he led by example. It's nothing stopping being a God. That's also a religion, not understand Christianity. They say, how can God come down from heaven to become a human being? It's tolerant. It's to feel, to walk while we are walking, eat what we are eating, sleep where we are sleeping, do what we are beating the way we ought to be beaten, and everything. So that if you notice what Christians call it his last action, every suffering human being will have to go through from hunger to taste illness to everything, he passes to abandonment. So that I think the theology of suffering God is real. And let me say this on this broadcast. The only cure to intolerance is golden rule. And I've said that golden rule is in every religion. It's in Islam, it's in Hindu, it's in Buddhism, it's African traditional religion, and it's in Christianity. What is golden rule? Do unto others as you like them to do unto you. The day we say that this road I'm passing, let other children that I don't know pass through. We are talking about Wodi, and we know what Wodi is doing and also His Excellency Rocha Sokorasha. How many people truly will come and say, because I grew up in poverty, let me be building houses for widows? You understand? Because my parents didn't train me in the university and gave me quality education, let me be training other people's children. I think we'll be focusing more on that, because talk about Nigeria and the economic policy and everything today. If you don't tie it down for people not feeling the pain of others, we will not cure it. It's the pain of others that make this Joe Biden. You know why he was elected as a president? He was a good speaker. He doesn't have much charisma like Trump. Why did he beat Trump? Only one thing. For 35 years as a senator, every day he will enter train from Maryland to Washington. And after the Senate business, he will enter train back to his house. I talked about some of them coming from the degree. Every day, an old man. He was doing it inside the train, whatever people are eating, that is what they are eating. He's feeling their fear. So that's why they call him the good old Joe. He was there with the people. So in Nigeria, are the political leaders with the people, are the religious people with leaders with the people, even people in the corporate world, how do they feel? And that is what drives greed in this country. What they're talking about dollar is the same permutation we are going back to. Pushing your own interest ahead of others. Let me just get my own, whether they die or not. It's not like this. Bag of rice is 50,000. I can afford 100, whether they live or die. It's not like this. So until we come and notice that only one trait tied all of us, and that is humanity. That this thing I'm doing, I may be gone, it might be my children that will face the consequences and suffer and pass. So we will get a good society. It's a sentimental thing. I'm being honest with you.
Thank you, Evangelist Timothy. Now I'm gonna zoom in on you making reference to WODI. WODI is Women of Divine Destiny Initiative. And one of the key drivers for WODI is, like you said, doing unto others as we wish others to do unto us. Like whatever it is we want to receive, we do. We've had so many outreaches. We built homes for widows in different geopolitical zones. And we reach out to children. We help people start up businesses. We here at WODI believe in building the next person. We believe in lifting others. We believe in doing unto others as we wish others to do unto us. And it would be like very unfair to carry on without acknowledging the founder of WODI, Her Excellency, Benaria Noma Nkechi Rocha Sokorosha. We are very proud to be part of this platform. We're very proud to be leading something unique, different, bringing hope to people who have lost hope, and shedding light on dark areas of the country. And now, coming back to you, is there anything you'd like to add? Everyone has said so much, honestly. We have learned so much as well, and I'm sure you have learned as well. Now, before we round off today, Mama, do you have anything to add?
I totally agree with what he has to say. Like I said in the beginning, tolerance is all about understanding, and I guess we're talking about tolerance today in the context of nation building, and if you bring it down to a relatable place between a couple, a married couple, one of the biggest ingredients in successful marriage is tolerance. So you kind of want to understand where the man and the woman understands their role in having a successful marriage. So the man knows that he has to tolerate the woman knows she has to tolerate her husband. In that context, understanding. So they both understand the roles, they both understand that there's a common goal, and there's something at stake, which is probably they have children, and of course you can't just up and leave because there's something holding you together. So in that context as a nation, he mentioned about leadership and its people. In the Nigerian context, our leaders play the role of a husband to its people, and we reflect the wife, right? So what is our role towards nation building? What is the leader's role? What are our leaders' roles towards nation building? But one thing that I'd like to buttress on is that I don't think it's all about showing, and I think that's what's eating up into our nation's fabric as a whole. The idea that, we're very hypocritical as a society. You want to be seen to tolerate, you want to be seen to go through it. You made reference to Biden, who had to use the public train for 35 years. But it's not beyond that. We see leaders who come out to play righteous, play holy, play that they understand. But beyond understanding, tolerance is recognition and doing something about it. So you recognize that, because my story would never be your story. Your story would never be his story. Everybody has their experiences. But the most important thing is that I recognize your religion, I recognize your background. I know that it is possible for people to not have money to afford a bag of rice. But the most important thing is, what are you doing in that role? So let's not be pretentious and just be seen to say, I'm plowing the roads that you plow every day, just so that I'm a good person. That doesn't solve the problem. So I think we should actively recognize roles and know what we're doing towards those roles to make sure that we have a more tolerant society, and thereby, by extension, a successful society.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'd love to go on and on and on, but we have to come to a close. Thank you so much, Thank you for having us, for joining us on today's show.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mama, thank you so much.
Love one another. That's the golden law.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us on today's show. I would also love to acknowledge the contribution of the technical and administrative team of the Golden Women Talk Show, and also, again, mention the memorable contribution of Her Excellency Norma Nkechi Okorocha as the executive producer of this show. I, of course, remain your amiable host, Bede Atabo, and again, thank you for joining us today. See you meet again. Goodbye.
I hear peace all around. I prophesy peace all around. I declare peace all around. All around.